Hello to the
future.
It is extremely likely that by the time you see this, I will be on my way to vacation, where we'll be cramped in a cabin with way too many members from the Solaris family for about 5 days. Pray for my sanity, by the way. I am not built for 5 days of socialization, but I'm going to do my best. I have scheduled this video to roll out on January 1st so we can get started with the new year right. Unlike the ultimate wishlist video, this one only covers 2025. It's a little bit more down to earth, and it does not just cover video games. It's more refined, I guess you could say, with things that are more likely to happen, but also with a smidge of self-indulgence. Just a smidge though. So let's jump in. For my first wish, I would like for Pokemon Legends ZA to come out and change my opinion of the Legends series. I have yet to do a video about it, but I was very underwhelmed by Legends Arceus. I felt like the story was a hot mess, that the cast of characters were more frustrating than endearing, and that the gameplay was just far too repetitive and grindy to actually be fun. It felt like a building block for a game, rather than a game that should have even existed. Basically, it kind of felt like a tech demo. I want Legends ZA to change that. I want to feel excited and relieved about this game. I want the game to expand on the gameplay from Legends Arceus, and for it to not just feel like the primary mechanic is just running around and catching things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I want an emphasis on exploration, and since the setting is seemingly Lumio City, I want an emphasis on side quests with compelling characters and stories. For my next wish, we need a tiny bit of context. There was a leak strongly implying that Mario Kart 9 will happen for the Switch 2. I don't really want to say what the leak was, but if you know, you know, and honestly, take everything with a grain of salt because people be making fake leaks everywhere. Provided it's true, I could honestly see Mario Kart 9 being a launch title for the Switch 2, so let's assume that it's going to release in 2025. So if the leak is true, and if Mario Kart 9 is around the corner, I would like for the game to include more guest characters from other franchises. I think in particular, it would be cool if the game included characters from Star Fox, F-Zero, and, just even include more characters from Splatoon and Legend of Zelda. Throw in Marie, throw in Pearl, throw in Sheik, throw in Zelda. I would also like each guest starring franchise to have a level. I still don't know why we got a Splatoon character, but we didn't get a Splatoon level in Mario Kart 8. For this next wish, I would really like for Nintendo to release Metroid Prime 2 and 3 ports for the Switch and/or Switch 2. Preferably, I want these ports several months before Prime 4 is released, which would then give people several months to get caught up on the series so they feel comfortable picking up the 4th game. As for my 4th wish, I want the upcoming port of Donkey Kong Country Returns to sell well. I feel like Nintendo is making it really obvious that they want to do more with the Donkey Kong Country franchise. We had Donkey Kong in the Super Mario Bros. Movie. We have a section of the Nintendo theme park now that is Donkey Kong focused, and there is a port of an older game coming out in January. I believe it's January, at the very least. I think this indicates that a new Donkey Kong Country game is on the horizon, but I just want the port to do well to solidify that we do get a new Donkey Kong Country game. I know people are already dunking on the graphics for the new port, but I still hope that it defies expectations and does well. Personally, I plan to pick this game up on day one, because that is the only Donkey Kong Country game that I have not played. And I'm excited to finally give it a try. I just kind of missed out on it when it came out all those years ago. Next, I am personally wishing for a new 3D Kirby game to be announced this year. I recently played Forgotten Land, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I loved that game way more than I thought I would. I've always enjoyed Kirby games. I've played them since the Game Boy era, like the original Game Boy, not the Game Boy Color, the original Game Boy. I wasn't super sure how I was gonna feel about Forgotten Land, but I adore that game. That game is amazing. Please, Nintendo, give us a new 3D Kirby game soon. Forgotten Land was amazing. I don't even think they need to change the formula too much from that game. I think they hit a very nice stride. Just give us more of that. I'd really like it if a 3D Kirby game was a launch title for the Switch 2, but I suspect if we get a 3D platformer of any kind, it'll be Mario. Which, I'm definitely not going to complain if that happens because I love me some 3D Mario 2. Either would be great, but I do want another 3D Kirby game. I really do. If not for the launch of Switch 2, then give it to me a little bit down the line, but just please announce it this year. That would make me very happy. For my next wish for the year of 2025, I would like to wish for a very much no Pokemon Generation 10. Not in the year of 2025. If there's going to be a Legends game, then let there be a Legends game, but we don't need to have that and a new generation. Not in 1 year. We can space it out a bit. It's okay. For 2025, I also want to wish for more Nintendo Directs. It feels like they really slowed down on those a lot. I know that this is probably in preparation for the new console generation, but man, it feels rough. As a YouTuber, I've only gotten to cover one Direct so far, and I kind of thought I'd be doing that more since I got started. It was a lot of work that week, but it was really fun. I want them to do more after the Switch 2 is announced. I know that means I'm technically asking them to give me more work, but I just think Directs are really fun. So please give us some more. Please, Nintendo. Pretty please give us some more Nintendo Directs. Please? I already did a video for my hopes and wishes for Switch 2, and I don't want this video to become more of that or more of my ultimate wishlist video either, but I do want to say, I hope that 2025 sees the improvement of several key gaming features for either the Switch or Switch 2, but ideally both. The eShop is in a horrible state. It's a laggy mess and it's brimming with all sorts of games that just don't feel like they meet the quality standard that should be met on the eShop. I know that sounds mean to say, but just taking a look around there is rough sometimes. People have been lamenting the state of it for some time, and I hope the eShop is just significantly cleaned up and doesn't lag to heck whenever I open it. I also want an improvement to multiplayer for Nintendo, and I want it to start this year. It should have already happened, but I want it to start ASAP, and since it's already January 1st, no time like the present, right? I want to be able to queue for Splatoon matches without fear of being disconnected or seeing half the enemy team get disconnected almost immediately. I actually played the original Mario Party with some people a couple months back, and we all live in different states. One of us even lives in a totally different country. It was playable, but it was really awkward at times because the connection would just randomly drop to the point that the sound would get really distorted. Like the game would make this awful, blaring, buzzing sound. I feel like it's not too much to ask for something a bit better than this. And please note, I'm not just saying multiplayer for Switch 2. I want them to make the Switch multiplayer experience just way better in general as well. Although the Switch 2 will come out and people will gravitate towards the new console, I still think that people will be using the Switch's online multiplayer as well for quite a while, so I'd like for that experience to just be better too. And of course, I will wish for a new Star Fox game every year. I went over my Ultimate Dream Adventures remake in my Ultimate Wishlist video, but for this wishlist, I just want a Star Fox that is hopefully not Lylat Wars again. The bar is on the floor, Nintendo. Work with me here. I'll even write the entire thing for free for you if you want. Just hit me up. I've been studying Star Fox lore since I was a hatchling. I got this. I also want to wish for them to do more with the Star Fox IP. We used to get comics back in the 90s. What if we got that again? And I'd like to wish for I don't know, we had Battle Begins as a promo for Star Fox Zero. An anime series about the Star Fox team would be super fitting, I think. I actually do believe out of basically all of the Nintendo IPs, Star Fox is the one that makes the most sense to make like an anime off of, because you can build episodic stuff really easily with the world and with the team being a mercenary team. So I would like something like that this year. It's a little self-indulgent, but you know what? We can get a little self-indulgent every so often as a treat. Along a similar vein, I'd like to wish for teasers for the Super Mario Bros. 2 movie and the Zelda movie. I gotta know what they're doing with those. It's driving me bananas. If Danny DeVito is not Navi, I'm going to be so upset. Someone mentioned that to me as an idea a couple months ago, and I just cannot stop thinking about that. Like, really, Danny DeVito as Navi. It's gotta happen, guys. It's gotta happen. I'd also like to wish for the official announcement and release date for Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD ports for Switch and Switch 2. There's been so many rumors that they already exist, and frankly, it just makes sense for them to exist. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. So I wish that for 2025. I also wish for more games on NSO. Big surprise there. Some games in particular I would like to see are Fire Emblem Sacred Stones, Diddy Kong Racing, and Donkey Kong 64. I'd wish for GameCube games on NSO, but I don't think I see that happening this year. It'd be nice, but I think they'll wait for a bit after the Switch 2's launch to add those in. As for my final wish for 2025, and it's horrendously selfish and I will definitely get some sort of flack for it, I would really like for the Switch 2 to launch after March. Maybe even late April. I'm fine with waiting. I've always been fine with waiting for a new console generation. And my reason for this is very, very selfish. I know the current rumor is that the Switch 2 will either be announced in March or it will be released in March. I don't want that because March is my birthday month, and I am always so incredibly busy during that month. I'm actually scared that I won't have time to enjoy the launch, and I'm even more worried that I'm gonna have to go out and find a Switch 2 during that time. And what if there's a console shortage? Actually, for this March, I am planning on doing a subathon to celebrate a new VTuber model debut. If you didn't know, the model I currently use has been my model for 3 years now, almost 3 years at least. And I've hired a cracked pair of artists to create an Amalia 2.0 with a lot of improved features and an incredible level of tracking. Not to plug the debut ahead of time, but it is being planned for March, and I know I'm just gonna be super busy then. Usually for subathons, I do 10 hours of streaming per day, every day, and it's uncapped, so I'm basically at the whims of my chat. Last time, I think it lasted for 21 days of solid streaming. It was actually going to go more, but I ended up having to cap it because I was just straight up exhausted. I probably won't do that same format again this year because my IRL life has gotten a bit busier, but needless to say, March is just a busy time for me, and I want the Switch 2 to come out at a time that's just more convenient for my schedule. And I know, it's selfish. I warned you that in advance. And that about wraps up my 2025 Nintendo wishlist. But I do wonder, what is it that you wish for? You know, at first, I wasn't sure I wanted to do this video because I just did the ultimate wishlist video and I thought maybe some people would be a little confused. But I think I did differentiate them both, at least enough to warrant 2 different videos. I'm curious to see what happens over the next year. I'm curious to know what we will be saying a year from now when we check this list over again. I don't have much of an outro this time, so I'm just gonna let Creature take it away. Go on, Creature. Give it a go.
Hey, you forgot to ask me what I wish for in 2025.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
For my 2025 wishlist, I want Nintendo to make an epic crossover with me and Mario, where we team up and save the world and cause mischief. Don't you think that would be fun? I dare Bowser to try me.
Somehow, I don't think they're gonna agree to that.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to Amalia's channel. And don't forget to leave a treat for Creature. Happy New Year. May all your dreams come true. And if they don't, then I'll smite them.